Hello guys, it's me, Simish, and welcome to another video. And in this one, I am building a house for a sim that basically is obsessed with all things plants and gardening. So I really wanted to include a kind of greenhouse for this build. So you'd have kind of the main house, and then this, what you can see, like the huge sort of glass frame to the side of it where they could put lots of plants. And it wasn't the easiest thing in the world. It actually took me a very long time to build this because what I actually started off with, I built an A-frame home recently. So that is on my channel. It's one of the last few videos I did. I think it was like a minimalist style A-frame home. And my plan was just to kind of use that structure and then add a kind of greenhouse because, as I said, it was an A-frame home, but it did have a little bit on the side, a little room to the side, so which I think was a bedroom. So my plan was just to kind of open that up, add some sort of glass roofing to the side. But yeah, it wasn't working. I tried to sort of add foundations and change the wall heights, and nothing was really sort of adding up. It was taking me a very long time, and as I said, it just wasn't really working. So you won't see it here because it was a big failure, so I decided to completely scrap it and start again with a sort of like fresh structure, which I think was definitely the best idea. So this is kind of what I ended up with, this basic shape. I was super happy with it. I mean, the greenhouse bit is very wide. It is a really big room. It's probably a little bit too big, but as I said, it just took me so long to get right that once I got it, I couldn't bring myself to try and change it, because if you try and sort of change I don't know, make it narrower or smaller or something like that, then all the roofing, it doesn't look good, so you kind of need to redo that. So yeah, that was a little bit of a challenge, but yeah, I was pretty happy with how it turned out anyway. And yeah, I did move in one sim for the screenshots, but I definitely think that this would be better for two sims and a cat, because I always love adding sort of pet things to my builds. So yeah, I think it would be quite good for two sims because it is actually quite a big house. So I started off with a little bit of a darker brown theme, but I decided to actually change it to a lighter theme because I was sort of playing around with Snowy Escape wallpapers, and I started off with that really sort of dark, it's a really nice textured wallpaper, but I just thought it was a little bit too much. It was a little bit too bold, so I decided to go with some lighter wood colours. And yeah, I think it feels just really nice and like a nice sort of summer, springtime house, which I thought fit quite well with the fact that it's a gardening theme. And yeah, based on that, I decided to just put a lot of different like plants and gardening items. And actually, I haven't put this build on the gallery because I do decorate heavily with custom content because, yeah, like when I build with a lot of plants, I like having a lot more options by using custom content plants. So yeah, this is custom content, and I actually will be going through some of my favorite custom content creators when it comes to plants, and I will link their sort of profiles down below, so you can definitely check them out if you haven't already. But I mean, I haven't sort of linked every single item of custom content that I've used, but as always, if there is a particular thing that you see and you want to know where it's from, but I haven't linked it, you can definitely just sort of ask and I'll be happy to help. But yeah, I actually am currently in the process of, I guess, redesigning this house. As I said, it just took me so long to do, so I thought I'd kind of make it a little bit worth it. And I basically copied the house. I put it down in Willow Creek, so I'm actually building in Newcrest at the moment. And I put a copy down in Willow Creek. I deleted all the furniture, and I'm basically going to redesign it, but make it CC free so I can upload it to the gallery and I can share it with you guys. And that should be the next video that I upload, so definitely check that out. But yeah, I had a lot of fun building this. It was actually the custom content that inspired me to build it, because if you remember, like literally months ago, we got that huge base game update for windows and doors. So basically you could put more than one window per sort of piece of wall. And also you could alt place windows and doors. So it was a super useful update. I'm very, very glad that we got it. But unfortunately it did break pretty much all custom content windows and doors. I think all of them. And as I said, that was like literally months ago, but I never got around to sort of deleting the broken pieces of custom content that I had. So I thought it was finally time that I did that. So I sort of went through my mods folder, organized it a little bit and deleted quite a few items. And then I decided to re-download some things. So if you're familiar with custom content, you probably know about Peacemaker. They are one of the most sort of popular and well-respected custom content creators, and rightly so, because their stuff is absolutely amazing. And I downloaded a few sets, the ones that I've used here, and I have written them down, which I don't usually do, so I was quite proud of myself. But I used the Vaulted Ranch and the Loft Living, so that beautiful like brick archway that you saw, that's from the Loft Living pack. So yeah, I got these beautiful sort of doors and windows from there. And then I also downloaded a few new plants, and you'll see in a minute the sort of porch area that I used for the thumbnail of this video is absolutely gorgeous. That was something I downloaded as well, especially for this build. And like I say, it just really, really inspired me. And I couldn't wait to build. And here it is. So I absolutely love these kind of hanging sofas and chairs. I thought this just really fit in with the vibe of a sim that just loves the outdoors and just loves being sort of in their garden and amongst nature. So they probably sit out on the porch quite often, especially sort of around spring and summer when the weather is very, very nice. So this set is actually from Simcredible. It's the Breezy collection, it's called. I think everything except Peacemaker I downloaded from the Sims resource. I think the Sims resource is very sort of heavily alpha, which I don't usually use. I mean, some build items I use are quite alpha, but on the whole, I kind of prefer Max's Match, and it's very alpha when it comes to sort of clothing and hairs. But when it comes to furniture, there's actually some really, really nice stuff. And as I said, I will kind of be going through some of my favorite custom content creators when it comes to plants and little decorations and stuff that I used. But yeah, I definitely wanted to make it custom content because, as I've said a load of times before, when it comes to plants, you just get so many options when you have custom content. So yeah, that was kind of my thinking behind that. And then obviously with the garden, I knew that I had to do a lot of different planters because, as I said, that is basically the sim in terms of like, you know, their skills and their personality. Basically it's just plants and gardening. I haven't really put anything else in there. And as I said, it's probably quite a good house for a couple. So maybe they're both, you know, really into their gardening. They're really into the outdoors. So I also put, you know, the sort of related items like the flower arranging table and the bee box and things like that. So I even put a pool as well because, like I said, they just love sort of it being outdoors. So going into this, it's kind of a greenhouse. It's also kind of a sort of conservatory. I suppose you could think of it any way that you want, but I really love sort of how light and airy it is. And in terms of the sort of plants that I'm using, so you can see them here, I also obviously use plants sort of throughout the build. But I am going to put like a little few names on the screen of different custom content creators that I basically rely on for absolutely gorgeous plants. And it's just, a lot of their stuff is just so superior. You know, there's quite a few things I've downloaded where you get like separated pots and plants, so you can really customize it. And the actual Sims game, it doesn't even come close to offering that kind of customizability. So yeah, I do think it's really, really useful to use custom content, and that's one of the reasons I really feel sorry for people who play on console, because of course they can't download stuff like that. But yeah, so some of my favorite creators are Sims4 Nicole, Simcredible, Nolan Sims, Peacemaker. There's quite a few others. I'm going to sort of put them on the screen, as I said, because some of them I cannot pronounce. But yeah, if I'm sort of putting down a plant, you can probably be sure that those are the creators that I'm using. So yeah, because it's so big, I couldn't just fill it with plants, because otherwise I would just be there for years just putting like tons of different plants on there. So I decided to also make it a dining area and also a kind of little office with a computer. There's actually 2 dining areas and 2 computers in this build, which is another reason why I think it would be particularly good for sort of 2 Sims to live here. And of course, as I said, there's a lot of things for cats as well. So yeah, that sort of platform that I used, that's the, I guess, the kind of secondary dining area, but that's where I put, I don't know what it's called, but it's the sort of dining area that we got with Snowy Escape. So you sit on the floor. I'm so sorry that I don't know the official name for it, but yeah, I just sort of put that there on a raised platform, and then the main sort of sit down dining table is in the conservatory / greenhouse. And then in terms of the kitchen, I used a lot of stuff from well, a few different creators, but the counters and stuff and the shelves are from Illogical Sims, and I really like them for sort of the sort of simple minimalist style, like light woods, lots of whites and sort of plain colors, very like simple stuff, but just stuff that looks really, really good. So yeah, let's say there I am just doing the platform for the, like I say, I call it the secondary dining area, but I did put a little hot pot thing, so maybe when they cook hot pot, that's where they sit, and then for everything else they just go into the I'll call it conservatory. Maybe that's a bit more accurate than greenhouse. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the kitchen and dining area, and I absolutely love that piece. It's sort of it counts as a sort of counter dining area desk, so you can see there's like a little table pull out from the counter, which I think is really cute, and we don't have anything like that in game. So yeah, I just decided to put a little laptop there so they can kind of sit in the kitchen and work or play games or whatever. And I did put a lot of different sort of artwork in this build, as I do whenever I use custom content, because you can get some really cool pieces of artwork that you can download from places like Tumblr and the Sims resource. So I decided to basically take advantage. And with the kitchen, I wanted to, I guess, like decorate it, but not decorate it so heavily. So I think for my last few builds, I've used the counters that came with Snowy Escape, which have a lot of sort of slots for decoration. But this time, I mean, these counters, they don't have that much counter space, and obviously you need to keep a counter kind of clean for Sims to be able to cook on. So yeah, I tried to keep it nicely decorated, but basically not too much. So yeah, as I said, this is the like lesser used dining area, I guess, but I wanted to keep it sort of nicely decorated with those pieces of artwork. And then I think just going into the sort of bathroom and the bedroom in a minute, I wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit and use a few different pastel colors, because the sort of main area, so the, I guess the kitchen, the dining room and the conservatory, all very sort of light and quite neutral in colour. So for the bedroom and the bathroom, I decided to keep it super sort of pastel. So the bedroom is very sort of lilac and purple, and then the bathroom is quite sort of kind of blue, pink, peach kind of colours, which aren't colours that I use very often. So that was kind of exciting to use. And in terms of the brick, this is actually a Peacemaker brick as well, and I love to use this because it basically comes in every single colour. So whatever colour scheme that you're going for, you can do like a nice little feature wall like I've done there, and I just think it works really well. So that's pretty much it. I mean, these kind of rooms came together very quickly. As I said, the build as a whole took a very long time, and it's one of those things, it's like, I don't know, if you build very often, you might understand as well, like the longer you build for, the harder it gets. Like I guess your brain just gets quite tired, and I think I sort of built this over like 3 attempts over like 2 or 3 days, because I could only sort of take it in small doses. But once it was done, I was super happy with it. So like I say, I'm looking forward to redecorating it a bit and taking out all the custom content so that I can share it with you guys. But yeah, as I said, this is the bathroom, and these are the kind of sort of blue, pinky, sort of peachy colours that I talked about. And I don't know what it is, but I really like this bathroom. I think it's kind of a nice sort of family, homely, decorated bathroom, I guess. I don't think this is a sort of build that's very suitable for having children, but like I say, a nice sort of, and maybe like a married couple or something who would like to have kids but don't have kids just yet. I don't know. It's, like I say, I've not uploaded it, so this is basically almost like a showroom. I don't know. It was just for my own fun to build, and although it was very stressful and long, I definitely did have a lot of fun building it. And like I say, I was just super inspired by some of the pieces that I downloaded, so basically I just couldn't wait to build this. And this is the last room, which is the living room, and it's actually my favorite room in the whole entire house. I absolutely love it. It's kind of got a bit of a sophisticated vibe with the kind of like browns, blacks and greens. But at the same time, it's also really cozy, and I love the decorations of this. Like, I was so happy with this room. So I used, as I said, a lot of like, well, throughout the rest of the build, you know, all the sort of plants and decorations. And I don't know, I just thought it came together really nicely. I absolutely love like the pieces of artwork that I used on the walls. And I do end up moving the sort of plum bob picture that you can see here. I used that sort of corkboard that you get in the game for postcards, but actually I downloaded some Polaroid pictures, which are really cute, and again just kind of contribute to the sort of cozy lived in vibe of the house. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. If you do, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I've got a lot more builds coming, but until then, bye!